Smugglers Cove.
Well. Aliens and Earthlings.
Back again so soon.
This is Kutzky, the Space Pimp.
And I'm Tony the Tall Boy, King of Spiders.
We're here with some fortunate, unfortunate news. The entirety of episode 6, due to my oversight.
Oversight's a good word,
Oversight,
perhaps.
yeah, that's
and
probably the nicest
undersight on the part of our viewers.
Yep. Out of sight.
Out of sight?
We only have this in fucking audio. I forgot to click record on the camera.
It happens, people. It happens.
Hopefully only once.
Only once.
I'm allowed once. Or else, I'm fired. But I'm co-CEO, so I'll probably rehire me.
I don't think you're going to be deposed.
So, what we've planned to do is just film us playing some crib and doing whatever the hell else we can figure out to do.
General friendship.
Yeah. We're going to play the episode in the background and listen to it, so we'll be basically you right now. This is some sort of meta crossover.
Well, we're going to have fun listening to us. You're going to have fun listening to us and watching us, and what you just see is some good times.
Wholesome country boy, friendship. Good old-fashioned
crib playing.
I guess it's more senior citizen-esque, but...
I think card games are a delight of all ages.
We actually have a crib tournament tonight.
That's true. If we wake up in time.
Oh, we're waking. Motherfucker, I'm going there winning some money. I'm winning pedal money.
Do you have to put money in?
It's $11.50.
I have $5.
We can float your boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah. That ain't no issue.
If I have luck like last night, then I think, I might stand a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Pay us back.
Mm-hmm. Make it rain.
Yeah. I guess I'm just going to press play because I can fuck with the mic afterwards and do all that. So, as natural as transition as it can get, here we go. We're going to start the episode here. Go into my documents.
Oh, and they get to see this all in real time.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. They're not seeing this.
Oh, they're not?
No.
Okay.
I don't have screen share.
So.
Wait, this isn't the one I want.
Is that not the one you want?
I want Smug 6 cut.
Oh.
Aliens and Earthlings. We're back with episode 6 of Smugglers Cove.
The newest installment. Brought to you by...
Kutzky the Space Pimp and Tony the Tall Boy.
King of Spiders.
We have determined that a spider makes the sound of a queef.
A queef, a terrifying vagina, if you will.
Mm-hmm. A web of deceit and
I
pleasure.
think it's a web of... What an odd... trick me, baby. Trick me so good.
It's the spider's way for you.
I think spiders are just delightful little creatures, and Caleb just is really quite ignorant as to their benefit.
If they're in my house, I kill them.
I'm their friend. I'm the Underground Railroad of our 8-legged comrades.
Yeah, this Underground Railroad fucking left one alive in my washroom. Mm-hmm. Asked me if it's still alive.
Did you actually kill it?
First question.
No, first things first.
First things first.
Well, yeah, what first question?
I was just doing that as a segue to get out of telling you that I killed the spider.
Did you actually... Was it still there?
No, I didn't kill it yet.
Ha 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 ha! Underground Railroad.
Soon to be defunct. Question number 137, or number 1 in philosophical questions related to culture.
See what you got, Krista.
In true Krista Brown fashion, what is culture? This is, I'm sort of stumped. I'll give you an answer. How right it is, I don't care. But I believe it's the traditions, the heritage of a nation,
typical
or at
way
least
of life.
A regional, maybe like a region of people.
Yeah.
So the Canadians have culture, Poutine and hockey, but Poutine and hockey is done slightly differently between the coasts. So East Coast definitely has its own
and everywhere's
flavor.
a little bit different. You know, like you have a Canadian culture, but I think that you know, each city, each township or whatever is different.
Yeah.
A little bit anyway, but I'd say
I'd even heard that Mexico has a culture.
Really?
Yeah. It's not just ours.
They're really moving up in the world.
Yeah.
Canadian culture is not all encompassing, apparently.
No, I thought it was just us, you know.
The only culture is found here in the Great White North with poutine râpé and Tim Hortons coffee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm white, so I'm ignorant.
We have nothing to contribute. We're devils.
Somebody else has culture?
Whoa.
Steal it. That's part of my culture. Theft of other cultures.
I believe the correct term is appropriation. But theft. I think they also go with theft.
We did deem it appropriate to take it at the time. I do agree. Yeah.
Well, you know. I mean, they weren't doing anything with it, right?
No.
That's why we had to show them how to do what they need to do.
How could a bird fly in such a cage? Culture, I think we all kind of loosely grasp what culture is. Culture is kind of ethereal and liquid. There are like obvious physicalities to it, but it is also an essence, you know.
I think culture also ties in belief systems. Belief systems and mannerisms. Like, yeah, no, yeah. Hey, buddy.
Fucking right, bud.
Hoser. I don't think we actually say hoser that often. That might be a West thing, out West.
No, they even don't say it. It's like from a TV show. Oot na boot.
Oot na boot. Although, I was talking with some friends on Steam one time. Steam, not Steve, but Steam. And, like, I don't even know what you guys are talking about. And, like, my American friend was like, a boot. I was like, I didn't even... But I think it's the way we say about sounds like a boot to other people. About? Yeah. I don't know if they go about.
Yeah, I need a new pair of boots. Your rubber boots are fucked, mate.
Get your galoshes on there, bud.
Fucking holes in your boots. Yeah, so that's our culture. I feel like I don't want to die on this hill of what is culture. I want something maybe more challenging.
We'll get to we'll get to
find something
juicier concepts, I hope.
All right. Number 138. How does culture form? Well, if you're white, it forms from the theft of other cultures. If you're not white,
everything is good and you're doing everything right.
You originated. Culture comes from traditions.
Well, like I said, traditions, belief systems, how you develop. I think also would have to do with your geography. Like how I think honestly
that's a big one, really.
Well, I think one of the reasons why Canadians are nicer is because like who wouldn't want help if their car gets stuck in a snowbank, right? So like when you see someone stuck in a snowbank, it's not unheard of or even uncommon to see like someone. You okay, buddy? Like I'll give you a shovel. Like I one time I went in a ditch driving this girl home, and that was so basically I went off the side of the road. I took the corner a bit too fast, and she just got up and left. I was like, dope. And so then like these other people came and they brought a shovel and they were trying to help, and I was just stuck, and I was like, fuck. I was out like out past like Old Shediac Road.
It's hard getting roadhead. It's not easy to drive.
Oh no, she was anyway. That was anyway.
My statement stands true. I almost ran into the back of a transport truck. I think I really like the geography. Like that really does play a part.
Yeah.
If I could think of something that's like almost outside of the, I don't know, imagination of the people, because a lot of it comes from that, the traditions and imaginations, but
because that shapes your way of life, and then that shapes how you interact with each other, right?
If you live on a coast, you might wear different garments that you wouldn't wear mainland, and thus that could become iconic to your culture.
Well, I mean, think about, like, you know, how we have toques and, you know, wear your mittens and put your hands in your pockets if it's cold.
Yeah. Yeah, and we just deal with winter. I think that shared struggle or hardship definitely is a unifying bond that may play to the kindness. We're also kind because we just want to be Denmark. We think, you know,
At heart, Canadians are Denmark.
Yeah, we are the colder Denmark. I think they have snow too.
Well, yeah, they're Scandinavian. I assume they have as much, if not more, snow.
I just thought it was utopia over there. They might have.
Well, but I mean, it could be a frozen utopia if you have bathhouses and hot tea everywhere you go.
That doesn't sound that bad.
No,
I agree.
No.
All right.
Very colorful hats too.
Culture forms from the air and the hats you wear. Number 139. Is it important to be mindful of other cultures, and if so, why? Can I run lead on this?
Absolutely.
I would say mindful is incorrect. Like, to be mindful, no. You don't be, like, ignorant that they don't exist. If you're interested in them, then pursue. I would say, is it important to be interested in other cultures? Yes.
Yeah.
To be mindful is kind of like you're saying they're a delicate flower that's, you know, easily trampled by your Poutine eating.
I think if you're interacting with individuals of a different culture, it's important to understand their culture a bit more. That being said, I still smile when I go to my Russian friend's house. You know, like with Russians, at least what I can speak to is like you don't smile at strangers.
Okay.
If you're just walking around smiling in well, I'll say Slavic culture, because basically, you know, it's pretty. Not everyone's. You know, I don't want to call Ukrainians Russian. Like, you know, obviously that was a hot topic before the current situation. But if you're walking around in, say, like Moscow or wherever, you don't want to be smiling because they're like, "What are you smiling about? What are you up to?" And I kind of like that, because although I don't mind the idea of being outwardly friendly, at the same time in those cultures, like, you don't ask people how their day is going unless you actually want to know. Which is why, like, I mean, I got into it for a bit. I kind of fell out of it because it's just so Canadian to be like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Oh, good, bud." Even if you're dying inside, you know, like, "Oh, she's living the dream."
Yeah. It can sometimes feel disingenuine, but
well, that's the thing is I think it kind of mixes signals, because like even if it's a friend who doesn't mind hearing how you're doing, time and place, right? And if you're having a hard day, then you might not be in the right headspace to really think about the right time or place. You might just be like, "Oh, an outlet," which can get confusing. So then you overshare or you repress. And, you know, that's just what I found. But I think
that's like a matter of your own well-being, and that's a matter of your own responsibility in a way. Like, I get that we all do have hard times, but it also is obviously up to us to figure that out a bit. Not to mean that we can't go through our hard times and experiences as such, but that's not really like a flaw in the Canadian niceness of them asking you how it's going, and you know that it's basically just kind of a nicety, and to feel disingenuine because you can't say feeling fucking suicidal there, bud. I would also like to say, you brought up like being mindful of other cultures when interacting with them. And I feel like that's something we say, but I was just thinking right now, if I'm talking to somebody from another country, another culture, whatever, I am not like trying to impose this precedent upon them that they need to understand what Putin means to me, so that I feel safe.
I guess I meant in a closer sense, you know, or like broad strokes, you know. Like,
but I think that's why they use this word. It's like, oh, mindful. It's like, I don't need that person to coddle me. Like, I'm fine with, you know, what my culture does that, you know, oh, maybe it seems weird that we put, you know, gravy on cheese and fries, or like, I'm obviously sticking to poutine because I'm fucking Canadian, but that's part of my culture, and I don't really feel like concerned about that. I know I do hear stories of, say, immigrants moving here and then being, you know, kind of self-conscious about their food, or like, I've heard anecdotes on YouTube videos of like, oh, my lunch, you know, smelt weird to the other kids, and like, then that child's really just being a child and dealing with the insecurities of being a child. It's not really like, oh, everybody else needs to be mindful of my smelly lunch and not make fun of me. Like,
at the same time, I don't really think there's a like to don't get me wrong, I don't think you should like bully the kid, but like lighthearted teasing, like what the hell do you got there?
Yeah,
you know, like
that actually opens the door for dialogue.
Well, and that's the thing is I mean, as much like I'm not trying to rob anyone of their culture, but if you're bringing a lunch that just is like, it's kind of like whether you're bringing like really pungent tuna or you're the guy that brings hard-boiled eggs to work, like I don't care what color you are, what culture you come from, your lunch stinks, bud.
Yeah, like, it stinks. You bring some kimchi,
like I'm not here to I'm not shitting your culture at all.
Yeah,
it's not a culture issue, it's I'm trying to eat. Like,
yeah, and there it is.
Your fermented shark flesh is not really appetizing to my palate.
Yeah. So I think the mindfulness gets like twisted in the heads of people who think like, oh, maybe if we go back to the lunch smelling, it's like that actually is an opportunity for friendship in a way if they can be curious and not be like
overly sensitive.
Yeah, weirded out that they have to like pretend that your shit don't stink.
I think that she's also talking at least a lot with... So I'm just going to assume that she's coming also from a point of cultural appropriation, which has a lot to do with hairstyle and clothes. Mm-hmm. And I think if you like a style or like a form of expression through garments or hairstyle, then go for it. You know, obviously there's a place and time. Like if you are doing it disrespectfully, I can understand why some people are not appreciating it, but it's kind of like Kim Kardashian, and this is like the only time I'm going to defend her, but she made a clothing line or something called kimono, and people were up in arms because she wasn't Japanese. Fuck off, it's a beautiful garment. And then again, like with the last episode, watch episode 5 to get the digs on shit. What was I talking about? Kimonos and
Japanese racism.
Well, just...
Oh, you were talking about how the Japanese tortured people. There was the rape of Nanking.
No, that was episode 3.
Oh, well, 4. We're talking about Japanese.
What was I talking about in the last... I lost it. But anyway, it's a beautiful garment. Mm-hmm. Kimono, like, you don't mean any disrespect. Like, get over it. It's just a good time. Like, and as long as you're not treating it with disrespect... Oh, yeah, when I was talking about white saviorisms.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you have a lot of people, like, the people love to share their culture. I remember this girl I was dating one time, she did henna.
Yeah.
Like the Indian paint on the skin.
I know what henna is.
Okay, well, I mean, maybe our viewers don't. Also, I was kind of looking for validation. Not validation, but affirmation that that's what it was.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, so she was like, I don't know if it's right or not, and I just sat there because I was sitting next to my friend. I was like,
was she not of the culture that
she was white, right? So she didn't know if it was disrespectful, and I was like, hey man, my Indian friend, I was like, do you care if white people wear henna? And he's like, no, like we like to share our culture. Like if you like it, do it. Yeah. And I find a lot of the cultural appropriation comes from either white people or westernized people that are just like, no, you can't, you're a different skin color, you can't do that. Like, oh no, because no one in history has ever learned or taken from other cultures and adapted them and grown from them at all. Like, heaven forbid we, progress and evolve.
Things are better when you share.
Well, really though, and if you're doing
you take it and put your own spin on something that's rather harmless.
If it's from a respectful place and like self-expression, there is no harm in it. You're not doing a disservice to the culture. Like it's part of the natural evolution of culture and dress and I think it's also a form of not necessarily appropriation but appreciation.
Yeah, if you made an anime and just butchered it and it was about eating dim sum or something.
I think anime butchers itself a lot of the time, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, well, there was that anime you made about driving poorly, and that was, I think, bordering on distasteful. It was pretty funny, I found, but...
What?
That anime you made about people driving poorly?
Oh, yes, that project from 3 years ago when I animated a full-length film you can find on YouTube under anime driving poorly.
Yes.
Yeah, if you look that up.
A lot of car crashes, texting while driving.
Very hurtful caricatures, I have to say.
Yeah, dim sum all over the place. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, no, it was a dark place in my life.
So, mindful, sure-ish, be interested, and this also could be about, like, Canadians and the whole whitewashing Aboriginals. Like, I think that might be something if it's like a retrospect of, we should have let them have their culture.
We definitely, like residential schools, I think we can all agree where Mr. McDonald, you kind of fucked up there. Mm-hmm. Sir John A. kind of dropped the ball a little bit.
Yeah. As a
caveman
would do.
Committing atrocities.
Absolutely. So, I guess, I don't know, is it like they want to revamp their culture and I don't think there's really contestment against that.
I think actually that's what I see, at least on TikTok, is a lot of that happening is that you have a lot of natives learning the languages that were, almost erased, unfortunately. But you do have a lot of natives taking back their culture and taking pride in it and embracing it, which I think is really beautiful.
Yeah.
At the same time, I once watched a TikTok where these Inuit women were eating traditional foods, and I don't trust people. Like, it's kind of like the same idea of like someone telling you can trust them. They were like, "Oh, this is so good," as they sit there and gnaw on this food, and they're like, "Oh, it's still just delicious," and they have to and they're just fighting through it. Now, it might be very delicious, but I was not convinced. I was like, I think maybe, and don't get me wrong, eat it because you want to eat it, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look appetizing, and it seems like you're trying to sell me on something that might not be to everyone's palate,
Yeah, and I know it ruffled a lot of feathers when people saw the video and there's all those clubs in the background. They were eating the seal. I kind of get why people were upset about that clip, but
the seal hunt, I mean, that's a different, it's kind of the same kind of kettle of fish, but
I'm not actually talking about a real clip.
Well, there was a controversy where there was a Canadian government official that went over, and part of the culture is the seal hunt.
Yeah.
And she ate a piece of seal heart, which is considered a delicacy, and everyone was getting at her like, "Oh, you endorsed the seal hunt," and it's like, well, because if we don't kill the baby seals, then they will eat all the fish, and we'll have too many seals. It's better for the environment, and they use clubs because bullets would be too expensive. So it does.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm for the killing of baby seals. I'm not happy about it. I should say.
But this kind of comes to the being mindful of other cultures. It's like, what are we doing not being happy about it? Like, that's how they survive for years and years.
Well, and if it's going to deplete the fish population, right? And it's a sort, and and they're native. They're Native American or First Nations. They're going to use every part of the buffalo.
Yeah, it's insensitive to deem it barbaric if that's their means of survival plus their heritage and shit.
Well, I think too, I'm sure comes into it is that there is a deep respect, from my understanding. I can't speak with any authority on it.
Yeah,
but from my understanding is that these cultures do have a deep respect for the food that the animals that they kill and the food that they eat. They are grateful to the animal and they're respectful to the animal. Doesn't mean that it's a happy process, but to them, from what I understand, it's a necessary process, and you use what you take and you don't waste. Which I think, if you're not wasting and you're not doing it to be cruel, then I mean, they're not overfishing or over hunting. I think those are dangerous things, but it's a culling, and it's a necessary culling from what I understand.
Well, yeah, because it's stupid for some white people to bitch about them clubbing seals. Meanwhile, white culture pioneered fucking slaughterhouses. It's like, I think we take the L on this.
Yeah, factory farming is kind of on us,
Yeah. All right. Number 140. Are some cultures better than others? Denmark.
I think Denmark, apparently.
Yeah.
That's the round, the resounding yes from us. Denmark. Go Denmark.
Yeah. And it's just purely because their systems are more efficient.
Well, some cultures are.
Yeah.
Just objectively. I mean, it also... And this is, I think, where it kind of gets into a bit of a discussion, is because, what are the values of the culture, right? Because if a culture is... So, let me rewind. But, say you have European colonist culture, right? And then you have the First Nations culture.
Yeah.
Right? European culture says... we need to build, we need to put this land to our use, we need to industrialize, we need to, like, efficient, like, build.
Yeah.
Whereas the Native American culture, First Nations culture, what have you, is harmony with the land, respect the spirits. It's different objectives.
Yeah.
Right? So it depends on what measure you're using to define what culture is better than another. Because
the one that lives in most harmony with the land, I think, is not really up for debate. Like, that's going to be the best one.
See, and I think, like, that's what you think, right? I'm not saying that's wrong.
Yeah.
But if your definition of a successful culture is wealth, prosperity, you know what I mean? Like, longevity, because, like, you might not live as long in a nation that doesn't have these pharmaceuticals. Mind you, we are going back to holistic methods and whatnot, and I think that is good. But, like, the more developed medicine and whatnot, then if you measure it by that, then you would say that culture is objectively better. I think it really depends on what your definition of skipping ahead quite a few, what is success, right? Like, that really comes into play, what you consider it.
Yeah.
I think, I'm sorry, I'm just not going to, like, if I see something that pops out, we're going to have to answer it again, I'm just going to call it out if I see it.
Because technically the European colonization, whatever how you word that, we were pretty fucking successful at what we did.
Exactly.
Did it yield us the best dividends in the end? Remains to be seen. I think we've laid a foundation that has potential if it's used in the right way, but I like that, because it does not say that any which one is bad, but it is like, we focus on this and we went full force at this, some other culture focus on this.
I don't think you'll ever truly find like a 100% perfect culture. I'm sure even Denmark has its own sweatpants, right? Like, I think that you won't find a 100% pure and perfect utopia.
Is morality developed within a culture, or is it intrinsic? It's not fucking developed if you have sweatpants, so thank you for that segue. Is it intrinsic? I think morality is intrinsic. Is it always...
But I think it's developed through culture, right? Because your culture really... Your culture dictates what morals are.
I mean, generally, I don't want to be killed by another person, and I don't want to have to kill another person. So that's pretty intrinsic. I didn't learn that from eating poutine. So this part is...
but like, what I mean is your culture is... Like, I think that you have, like we discussed in another podcast, is that, like, there are cultural, like, similarities between cultures. So, like, murder and theft, as we discussed, are rather... common, pretty prevalent throughout. But I think that certain morals and like mannerisms and whatnot do rise out of culture and how it's developed.
So I would say then culture enhances morality.
I'd say morality is inevitable through culture.
I
don't know if I'd say it's intrinsic.
I'm saying it's intrinsic and then enhanced, because I do think most of us have the notion not to kill each other. I think most of us have the notion, if we see somebody sick on the side of the road, to stop and see if we can do something. Like, I think intrinsically we do have at least a little bit of care for one another that is just across the board, despite culture. To me, that's morality, a form of morality. The culture, how you...
At the same time, that you're saying that from the perspective of someone raised in a culture, right? So it's almost like we can't know for sure, because how do you need to find someone who is not raised in culture, which means they have to be isolated.
Okay, then the tribes killing people, like, I don't think the tribes kill each other.
A lot of tribes kill each other.
Just for sport?
Well, I don't know. I'm not part of a tribe, but certainly...
They don't kill each other for sport,
I mean,
I don't think.
Headhunting.
Alright, so, but if they're like absolved of culture, if you want to say, but even then they're not.
Culture there.
Exactly,
they
still have
headhunting
culture.
is part of the culture.
In these tribes, to hunt each other's head.
Yeah.
Well, how are the tribes still existing?
Well, because you still have a birth rate, And it's not like you can, like, I mean, genocide happens. I'm sure there are tribes that are wiped out, not necessarily for headhunting or whatever, but warfare.
Then they probably don't headhunt the babies, right?
Well, no, because it's based off warriors in battle.
So there's a little bit of respect for the youth. So then I can tie them into my scheme of
okay.
There is intrinsic.
So there
shit.
is, yeah. But then you also have soldiers that do kill children, as we've seen even in more civilized nations.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that would be... And I'm just arguing
really
devil's advocate
stoked
here.
to do it.
Well, some are stoked to do it, but that doesn't mean there aren't evil people in a mostly moral society.
Yeah. So basically for the large, vast majority of us, there are a few basic intrinsic morals, and then the rest of the rest of the picture that the fuck am I saying? The other percentage, the other morals are developed through the culture. So basically, don't kill your babies. Some sort of affinity towards motherhood, and some sort of affinity towards brotherhood, sisterhood, like fellow man, humanity. Yeah. Those things I think are baseline intrinsic.
I you know what? The more I think about it, like I came back to our, when we talked about showing love and whatnot, and the cat comes up.
Yeah.
I think that even if you have like an abandoned child and there's or like a child obviously old enough to pet an animal, if you see them and there's a sick animal, if they're not hungry or whatever, raising a primitive, like I think they'll pet that cat.
Yeah.
And I would say that is maybe a very loose definition of morality, but that is still showing kindness to another creature for no benefit but to show kindness and to make both parties feel good.
Yeah.
So I'd say, I'll agree with you that it's intrinsic.
Part.
But so it's intrinsic and is developed by culture.
Yeah, because I would say the intrinsic ones are pretty base and they're limited, and then the culture can either make them flourish or
and then
I think just flourish in
build
whatever
upon
ways.
and establish new morals, right? Pardon me.
Because I'd say at the start they're intrinsic and then culture enhances it. I think that still stands as just the culture enhances it. The enhancement might be towards a negative bend, but I'm just playing not even devil's advocate. I'm playing shit heel advocate just to be like,
that is I got
all my bases covered. What?
Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves.
Is it? I do hate it when people do it. I think if they're not backing the stance that they're playing devil's advocate for.
I don't mind people playing devil's advocate. I don't like people who are playing who are being argumentative under the guise of playing devil's advocate. People who are just
give me an example of how it goes and you're not devil's advocate or you're not argumentative being devil's advocate.
When I play devil's advocate and I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but playing the other side of the board, I'm not doing it because I'm like, oh, fuck you, Caleb, I want you to be frustrated. I'm not doing it. I'm doing it so that we can both learn and develop, and kind of like, because if I play devil's advocate, then I strengthen your argument because either you poke holes in mine or I poke holes in yours, and then we see those holes and we come to a different solution, right?
Okay.
Because it's iron sharpening iron if you're playing devil's advocate. If you're just being argumentative, you're not there to learn. You're there to be really fucking annoying.
Because to me, typically when I encounter devil's advocate is they just derail whatever train was already moving, and now we have to play a game with them because they're like, haha, I gotta fucking.
Yeah, they're just
but
being,
what if?
They're just
what
being
if?
shithills. Yeah, no.
But I think for me, it feels like that's almost always it. It's like. I have conceived the devil's advocate part, and I would not be saying what I'm saying right now had I not already done that due diligence prior. I'm not going to do that due diligence out here in the open because I feel like that was our due diligence to do before feeling warranted to express an opinion on something.
I don't know. I find that I develop opinions as I talk to other people. Mind you, quite a few times I find that I'm right anyway, but thinking about things, you can only achieve so much in a vacuum.
Can achieve it all, my brother. I don't know, I mostly just read, think, then journal, and then I know what I know, and then I know that I don't know what I don't know. So I guess when I'm going to say something, it's because I know it, and then if I don't know it, then I just don't say. And that's why I would say devil's advocate. But here nor there, I guess. for this, or actually absolutely here and not there.
I don't think I'm doing a disservice.
No. Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you were going to defend. I thought you were going to say, I don't think I'm doing devil's advocate.
Well, no, I'm absolutely doing devil's advocate, but not for the sake of being argumentative, for the sake of actually having, a fuller discussion.
Fair. I guess my ideal is we just... What am I trying to say then? Like, we just agree on everything and it's like, here's the answer? In a way, that's almost efficient. It's like, all right, there's the answer.
That sounds like an echo chamber.
Yeah, but an echo chamber, I guess it's like, if I'm looking for an answer for something, I'm going to go be like, I want to say, all right, what's the answer? I don't know. Okay, good, thanks. What's the answer? This is what I think. Cool. Not this is what I think, but also it could be this. I guess I'm just talking to one person. I'd go to ask an answer from them, and then they play devil's advocate against themselves. It's like, I don't fucking need this. Now I'm just more like, you gave me two, basically you just told me you're confused. Or you told me like, yeah, this is what I think, but some people can say this. It's like, haha, well, are those people right or are you right? Who's right? I'm asking who's right.
I think it's all like part of the search for knowledge is to weigh options, because you do have to consider what other people think. I think it's healthy to consider other perspectives and to see where some perspectives have merit in some instances, and then in other instances they might fall off, and then they can learn from you and you can learn from them. I think it's a...
So in the ideal situation, you would only have to weigh the perspectives there, right? Basically,
in an ideal, but at the same time, you have to get to the right. You have to go over mountains of wrong.
Sift through the God damn it!
So I'm not trying to be a thorn in your side.
No, I wasn't saying God damn it at you. I was saying
no.
God damn it at the fact that that's the truth. Number 142. Is there a wrong way to discipline children? Yeah.
That's not like...
we could come up with a million. Like, don't stab them in the eyes when they fucking forget to turn off the TV. Like,
don't hold their hands over hot stoves or candles.
Yeah. Don't drown them when they didn't do the dishes. Like, yeah.
Don't run over their feet as a form of punishment. If you're locking them in with a dangerous animal at any point, turn back.
Yeah.
Like,
don't leave them with sketchy Uncle Carl because you want to go to the movies.
You sneaked out of your room last night. I guess you go in the basement with Uncle Carl. Hey, buddy, you want to play Twister?
Why are you naked, Uncle Carl? Anyways, so yeah, there's a wrong way.
Absolutely. Sure. I don't know. Like, that just, like... I don't know how you could argue that there isn't.
She's trying to say, like, almost that there shouldn't be discipline. Like, of course there needs to be discipline.
Well, yeah.
It just needs to be educational and fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because discipline is basically the imparting of wisdom from an older person who's like, hey, I am raising you because, like, when you're raising your child, you are imparting wisdom. That's like, hey, I'm older. And I know you shouldn't do this, and this is like, well, I think a lot of it too comes from like, this is how you should act, and you're giving them the best go that you can. But like, if you're screaming and hitting and I'm
not letting you eat a whole box of cookies and then play video games for 8 hours. Like,
if you do,
there's a reason why I'm disciplining.
Take privileges away and whatnot. Like, there's definitely bad ones. I mean, who could argue that there aren't? That's someone who's playing devil advocate just to be fucking argumentative. Right there.
Like, say if your parent takes your cell phone away, like, that's not...
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
That's the wrong way to discipline. Yeah.
No one ever overreacts when that happens.
I can't. Nothing's coming to mind, really.
No.
Yeah. Just take all their clothes, hide them under your neighbor's deck, kind of tit for tat, get even.
Burn a field.
Yeah, or burn a field. Number 143. In what way is a family-orientated culture better or worse than an individualistic culture? Well, it teaches a sense of community, teaches you how to be around others.
I think the phrase, it takes a village to raise a child, comes to mind really, it comes to mind really quite readily. To have, share the load.
What the fuck is individualistic culture?
I really don't know.
Where does that exist?
I absolutely don't know, because it's kind of like, makes me think of, I don't know, Well, even in Spartan culture, it was, you know, it was for the city state. You know, like even if they dropped you off and like go kill a wolf and come back, it's more of a vetting process than an individualistic culture.
Yeah,
I can't think of an individualistic culture.
Is doing yoga better than swimming on Mars? Like, I feel like the other one's not even.
I mean, it does sound like a trip. Like, I'm sure Elon Musk will sell tickets to that someday.
Yeah, but I'm saying something impractical, you know? Like,
yeah, I don't know. And truth be told, if there is an individualistic culture, I'd be interested to learn about it. But yeah. I would say that family-oriented culture
I'd be interested to be mindful of it. You only want to be interested? I am going to be mindful.
You plebe.
Definitely family-orientated, better, just, yeah.
Again, so the next question.
I've learned so much from my family. I've learned things they have not intentionally taught me. Those lessons are worth the weight in gold. Understanding how to accept people as they are, like, shit, that's a fucking huge lesson to learn. And do it for the sake of your family.
Well, an individualistic culture, like that, I really don't know of any.
Well, you're going to love fucking number 144. Are individualistic cultures intrinsically selfish?
I would say they would have to be by definition, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're not looking out for the family or the community and only yourself, then you, by definition, you would be selfish.
What happens to babies? You just fucking pop that thing out and be like...
Survive. You know? Like, handed a box of Apple Jacks and a hunting knife. Like, be well, Archibald. Like, I don't know why the baby's a cat, but, you know, sometimes that's just how it works out, I guess.
Yeah. Fuck this. Maybe let's give a quick Google here, see if we can find...
Actually, I think that would be a worthwhile venture.
Individualistic... Watch I spell it wrong.
I'm more watching how you type.
Well, I get one hand on the smoke.
And the mic.
Yeah. And the other hand's doing the type.
I mean, the ashtray doesn't have grooves for cigarettes. Those are purely for birth tests, pregnancy tests.
Mm-hmm.
Birth tests.
You know. Rub the belly. Does it burp? What is individualistic culture? In cross-cultural psychology, of course this came from some fucking tweed-wearing douchebag. An individualistic culture is a myth created in the minds of pretentious, pedantic, pseudo-intellects.
But you can't get an individualistic culture without a family-oriented culture because the baby would die immediately, right? Mm-hmm. So it's almost like individualistic culture comes from read
this. Culture, individualistic culture is a community that prioritizes the individual over collective groups. How does
then
the
it's not an individualistic. That doesn't make sense. Or let me give me a sec. I need to. All right.
Because it goes on further to say individualistic cultures emphasize attributes like uniqueness, individuality, personal goals, independence, self-reliance, self-sufficiency, and privacy. We do that already. We're not individualistic cultures. Like, I think it's good to celebrate your uniqueness, your individuality, your personal goals. Get your independence. Be self-reliant. Be self-sufficient. The privacy, if you want to have it, I don't give a fuck. But none of these are not found in other cultures.
But then I think that, you know, typically when you're dealing with, you know, I think you is a great example of individualism, right? You do your own thing and you work on things and you have projects and you're very unique as an individual, but you also like to share, right? Yeah. So by that you're individualistic, but at the same time you're sharing and contributing to other people's perspective and lives. So I think in that sense you are innately negating an individualistic culture, because while you might be an individual, you still are part of a community.
Absolutely. And what happens when, the other members of this mythical individualistic culture, like, they meet somebody and it's like, oh man, he's such an individual. Like, I don't understand where this
I want to be like him by not being anything like him.
Yeah, and the individual who's revered as being an individual and unique. And
your process of elimination includes seeing what someone else is doing right and then trying to do right by not emulating that in any respect. It seems like the process of elimination that can only go down.
It's bound to extinct.
Okay, what's an example people also ask?
All right, let's get this example here. A few countries that are considered individualistic cultures: United States, Germany, Ireland, South Africa, and Australia.
Okay, so maybe they mean like moving out on your own instead of living in a how in some cultures like you have people living in one family house and just like building parts onto the house once they get married and stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely, there's more benefit to being the family building on.
Well, I think
and homestead. And
I think you see that especially because of the inflation in the economy right now is that people are like, no, I'm going to live at home. Because it's better to pool your resources and work as a collective and help each other than it is to try and struggle on your own. So yeah, I'd say that absolutely.
Yeah.
Family-oriented or at least community-oriented cultures are going to thrive because, well, look at you go. Like you have that ability to work together. I mean, that's why like ant hills are a lot more productive than a spider's web. I put that one in there for you. I still love spiders.
Yeah.
Although colonies of spiders would be terrifying.
Yeah.
Pooh.
I've seen Harry Potter. Alright. Fucking thanks for teaching us about a myth, Krista. And if it's not a myth, it's a soon-to-be extinct facet.
I think it's self-damning. I think we already touched on number 145. What is success? I think we already talked about how that is subjective.
It's a personal thing, yeah.
Well, the cultural thing, like we said, like if
we have cultural ideas, but I mean, as soon as you...
What is success? It depends on what you're trying to achieve, right? Because as you said, if First Nations is to live in harmony with the earth and to do justice to the mother planet. And then Western ideology is more akin to industrialization and if efficiently, the most efficiently, even if it's detrimental to the earth, making use of the resources available, even if you're running them into the ground or whatnot. Then it depends on what success means to you.
So we could just say success generally is achieving the goals you set out to do. That's kind of, I guess, just paraphrasing what you said.
Which is just success. Mm-hmm. So success is success.
That's what it feels like.
It really depends on what you're saying.
The answer
is
in the question.
To do, yeah.
It's like, what is blue? Well, it's blue. Number 146. Does income play a part in how you define success? It does here, in a way.
I mean, it does for me only because I see how limited, or at least I have not yet embraced the idea of not worrying about income.
Yeah.
Mind you, I think perhaps it's the other.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but at the same time, because our society is so based off of finances, that it really it does come down to money. So I would say that it plays a part in how I define success.
Yeah.
If someone else is happier doing that, then I mean, kudos to you. Really, absolutely.
Because I guess it defines one part of success. Because there's this whole category of personal success. Like you quit doing something that you wanted to quit doing. You start getting healthier. You start all these things don't really have income as a factor. They're your personal evolution. So your personal progress, or your just. I think for maintaining your well-being.
For me, income plays a part because I think that getting compensated more fairly for what I think my work is worth would be considered a success. Like not necessarily a strict definition of success, but definitely a contributing factor to what I would consider success.
Because I'm not trying to diminish it by saying there's this whole category of personal success. It's just, I'm trying to say that there's two kind of fields. Because, like, we're both artists. Like, if we get paid for our art, then I would deem that success. Yeah. Having completed the piece, though, is just a form of success in itself.
Yeah. Like getting, I'd say that there's different levels of achievement there. I think that it's great to get paid. I don't know why, but this is kind of a tangent. I had pieces of art that I did in college, and like this really cool Jamaican guy that lived above me in my apartment in Charlottetown came down. He's like, I want to buy that, and I was like, no, it's not for sale. And now I'm kicking myself. Like I could have made like $150.
Yeah.
Like I could have sold that. That only like I moved it back home when I came to Moncton. Then it got water damage. It's like I could have sold it to a really cool Jamaican dude who showed me how to roll joints and made me realize that spaghetti is actually cool if you put the sauce on it. He was the first guy that ever got me to actually try spaghetti sauce.
Well, you can't have spaghetti without the sauce on it.
I would eat it spaghetti with Parmesan and butter.
So you just have noodles with butter and cheese.
Noodles and butter and cheese, yeah.
That's not really spaghetti.
Well, you know what? It was spaghetti to me because of the noodles. But, like, I'm just saying, thank you, O'Neill. You were a good man, and I'm sorry that I did not sell you my piece of art that just got water damage. So I had to throw it out.
Yeah, fuck. Eh?
Yeah, well, but I mean, but to that point, though, a point of success for me was because that was the first piece that I ever did on a large scale.
Okay.
So to me, that was a trophy, if you will, of like, look at what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
Right? And instead of accepting that was success and then monetizing it, I was just like, no, let me keep this as this shrine. And I think I kind of got stuck in a mindset of, no, I need to hold on to this because it's so special, instead of realizing, okay, I did that and that's great.
Yeah.
Now,
you'll produce
what
more.
else can I do, right? And I should have focused on that, and I didn't. And again, sorry, O'Neill, thank you very much for everything.
Yeah.
And you are a really great guy. I'm glad that I got to meet you.
No, because to me, sometimes that's a nice part of giving away nice art. Like, I've sold a few things, but a lot of my art I've just given. And for one, I like that my art lives on somewhere else, and so, if somebody sees it, blah, blah, blah. But it's also this kind of testament to, like, I can give this away because I will do this again, and I may do this even better.
And people appreciate the time and effort you put in, because, if you give someone art, like, you are giving away not only, like, your time and your effort, you're also... You're giving away, as long as you're not just some soulless art machine that I find is also common even without AI. But you're giving away a part of your soul too. I think not giving away, not like a piece of your soul that it's not like you're like like you're not really sacrificing anything, but you are sharing your essence.
Yeah.
Putting it on the page, right? Like or on the canvas or what have you. Like I think that you benefit other people, and other people truly appreciate that. And if they don't, well, then you can make another art piece and. It's on them if they appreciate it or not.
They don't. If they do. Most times, so they do.
Yeah.
Number 147. Does the culture you were raised in impact your outlook on life? Fuck do you think?
What do you think? So, Caleb, do you think that the framework by which you were raised at all affected you in your development? This just in on Smugglers Cove News.
No, I'm part of an individualistic culture, and shit, that fucking impacted me too.
I only grew up in a box, in a vacuum. I learned nothing. Everything is from me. I am the tree of life and knowledge. I created God in the very real sense that I was there a millennia ago, and I am here now.
Now can you help me wipe my bum? Basically.
What size are my pants?
Not too far.
Oh, fuck. Right. Sometimes a family-oriented culture can't bite you in the ass, I guess.
Number 148. If someone has recently relocated to a new country, should there be leniency for breaking minor laws they did not know about, or should they be prosecuted the same as their counterpart raised in that culture? I mean, if it's a minor law, like...
Then it's a minor law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a speeding ticket, now you know. Like...
Oh, fuck. Okay.
You're not getting incarcerated.
I have two stories about this. Mm-hmm. My friend moved from Belarus. Mm-hmm. And, of course, there's a degree of corruption. Mm-hmm. And so he got pulled over by a cop for speeding or whatever. And the cop pulls him over and he's telling him, like, everything that he did wrong and, like, tried to talk to him. And my friend goes, "What, you want bribe?" Because in his mind, right, in Belarus, they just be like, "Yeah, you're speeding, like, give ticket, like, fucking pay it." Whereas, like, the guy kept talking, right, being Canadian. So he thought, like, oh, he's trying to get money out of me. So he's like, "You want a bribe?" And he's like, "No, you can't. You can't ask me that. I'm not allowed to do that." So he got off scot-free because he absolutely terrified this cop, right? So my other story is, what was the guy's name? Doesn't matter, but he was from Cuba, I think. He was Cuban. And in Cuba, you can just buy a bottle of beer, open it, and walk down the street drinking it.
Yeah.
So he went to the liquor store, bought a bottle of beer, cracked it, and he was walking down the street, and the cop comes up. "What are you doing?" "What do you mean?" So he had to learn, like, oh, I can't just have a bottle of beer and drink it in public, like what, very alien concept, and he wasn't prosecuted, rightly so. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone really should be unless you're being a nuisance to other people. But I think if you're only breaking a minor law, and it's as simple as don't do that. Yeah. Then you shouldn't be.
I think you should get one strike.
Well, I think also even if you are raised part of the culture, like, man, pour that out. Like.
Well, yeah, even in my country, I've been just asked to pour it out and not prosecuted, so it happens to the counterparts raised in that culture, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really just depends on how much of a hard ass you're dealing with.
I think the minor laws, there's quite a bit of leniency anyways, whether you're fucking an immigrant or a counterpart.
I mean, kind of culture. As it should be, since they're minor laws.
Exactly. Catch the real crooks.
Yeah.
Number 149. If a group practices human sacrifice as a part of their culture, does that make it okay? Would you be wrong to try to save the person they would sacrifice?
I think you'd be in a really hot kettle if you were trying to do that. I personally...
You want to save? Okay.
Try.
You save.
My wife...
Guess whose sacrifice now? Yeah. I don't know why that was Russian, but... I
chimed in with the outdated Borat reference.
Okay.
Well, no, but I think he comes from...
Kazakhstan,
which is a former member of the Soviet Union. Mm-hmm. Technically the last member of the Soviet Union. Huh. If I remember correctly. But anyway, yeah.
Is there any fucking groups that practice human sacrifice still? Do I want to know? I'm not fucking even... I don't want to know.
I think that, as a society, as a worldview in general, I think we should all come together and, like, no, don't sacrifice people.
Yeah. I think that's becoming an intrinsic morality. All right. Would you be wrong to try and save the person? Try it.
I don't think you'd be wrong, but like I said, you would.
What do you say? Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Nothing gained except being there with them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, come.
Yeah, okay.
The more the merrier.
We get twice the rain.
Yes, you save. Yes, come save.
Come now, do your best.
Number 150. Is attractiveness a cultural construct?
Do you mean it like, okay, so this is, I can see this question going two ways. Mm-hmm. Either beauty standards, which obviously would be a cultural construct, but attractiveness, right? Because we all are going to, we are going to pursue what is attractive.
Yep.
I think that's just nature. Yeah. Like animals and everything do it.
Beauty's beauty.
To the eye of the beholder. But, like, is attractiveness a culture? Like, is attractiveness... Like, the state of attractiveness intrinsic to culture? Well, it predates culture.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's because if there wasn't attractiveness, then you wouldn't have a society, because attractiveness...
None of us would be here, because nobody would have smashed genitals.
Yeah. So...
Is there a culture that's just a bunch of homely people? They're like, morally opposed?
But then wouldn't the...
Did you just say Mexicans?
I didn't say anything. I was committed to biting my lip.
Tony, they have some very attractive women, I will have you know.
I feel like I'm being high-roaded here.
Yeah, I don't know that there's like a culture that is just like, no. We denounce.
We hate beauty. Everyone wears bags over their heads. I don't think there's any culture that...
Wait a minute. There is a culture that does such a thing.
Ooh.
So...
Yes, but...
No,
you know what? You have your joke. I'm not feeding into this. I'm not playing devil's advocate. No, you have this one, you win. All right? No, I'm not going there. I'm not a part of this. We're on the same couch. There's a dividing line.
All right. So, yes, there is a culture that does not believe in the construct of attractiveness.
That's not even... Nope. All right? There's the smudge stick. We're going to...
I've not been mindful.
Wait a minute. Holy fuck. Well, thank you for joining us on our last episode of Smugglers Cove.
Well, that was sweet and short.
Are we going to do the next one, or are we going to have a short episode?
I think we just have a short episode.
Just a short episode? Yeah.
The last one's all been around 2 hours. We'll leave this one.
What's this one?
Not 2 hours.
No, I would say not.
Yeah, about an hour.
Really? Only an hour?
I don't know.
Well, still, I think, someone might be like, ooh, a nice little surprise. A tidbit, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
I think we packed some good stuff into this
I think it was a pretty fun one. I mean, we don't want to burn through... We don't want to burn through material if we can, but this one, it was... Yeah. Really quite short. I don't know.
Well, you had all those good racist jokes.
You know me, Lord of the racist jokes, not just spiders, the racist spiders, just racist ugly spiders.
Spiders are very much a culture that does not believe in the construct of attractiveness.
I mean, there's some spiders that wear dewdrops as hats. Also, there are tarantulas that live. They will actually let little frogs.
Okay. Make them Balenciagas. What do the frogs do for them?
Thank you. they sit on the spider's back and like eat little mites and things that will get on the spider, and they will protect the spiders. If I'm not mistaken, protect the spider's offspring from little bugs.
Okay, so a spider walks into a bar with a frog on his back.
Bartender says, "What the fuck are you bringing in here?" It's a symbiotic relationship. Fuck.
There we go.
Well, you heard it here first and probably last, folks.
Smugglers Cove. I'm Kutzky the Space Pimp.
I'm Tony the Tall Boy, King of the Spiders. Thank you for joining us for this short episode. We hope you enjoyed it. We enjoyed doing it for you. Have fun out there. Take care of yourselves. And we'll see you here again soon at Smugglers Cove.
Unless you're part of an individualistic culture.
Yeah, you have nothing to learn from us. You're doing it all okay. I certainly am sure that you're not going to collapse into self-destruction.
Yeah, I will visit the ruins of your city one day soon.
I'm going to take really obnoxious selfies. Might do a duck face.
Mm-hmm. All for what?
Yeah. Are you happy with what you've built? Are you looking back on your day with fondness and achievement? Or are you just sad scrolling TikTok?
Or are you just not looking back because there's people?
There's no people. You're alone in a box.
Yeah.
Individualistic.
And they wouldn't look if there was people.
Because they have to shun every sense of community.
Against their moral principles.
Yeah. You have nothing to offer anyone and no one has anything to offer you. Smugglers Cove! We'll see you later, guys. Have a good one. And thanks again. Don't forget to hit that like button. Smash it, if you will. Leave us a comment. Send it to a friend if you think we're funny. If you don't think we're funny, laugh at us. Yeah, it's all traffic to us. We're pretty secure in that. And thanks again for coming by.
Love you all.
Absolutely. Bam.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Caleb, how? What the fuck?
Caleb, no.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, it's a good thing that it's only an hour. We can roll her again.
Yeah. Jesus.
Do we take a small break? I need
Well,
to emotionally recover.
Emotionally recover from this. Oh, fuck. So, let's wrap up this recording here. As you heard in the tail end of that is, let me get this mic up here.
Yeah, so they're not listening to the chair. Welcome back to Smugglers Cove, Furniture Edition.
Yeah, so, that was episode 6, 4L.
Special for you.
Yeah, it was not recorded on the video. I mentioned at the start of this, and you hear the proof at the end of that audio clip. So, thankfully we had the audio clip. And,
could you imagine if we just had nothing?
Oh, yeah, just 2 blown out brains on the couch here.
We'd be painting the wall with something that wasn't paint.
Fuck's sakes.
All natural paint, if you will.
Yeah, organic.
Organic.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Depends what I ate. Prunes. Yeah, I'm running vegan here.
Yeah, really.
Aside from that pork I ate earlier.
That was good pork, though.
It
wasn't bad.
Tasty.
I was skeptical of your method of cooking it at first. Like just when you're just like, oh, just throw it in the pan, cook it from frozen. I was like, oh, okay, you know.
Put it in the air fryer for a minute.
But the way that you did it, it made sense. You know, I think it was a tad barbaric, but I think it was tad bachelor.
It was almost shawarma-esque.
Yeah.
Just keep shaving.
Well, as long as it wasn't fucking falafel.
Well, again, thank you.
We're sorry.
Yeah.
But also, we hope you enjoyed watching us be pals, playing crib, and rolling with the punches. Because isn't that what life's all about?
Yeah, pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let the bastards get you down.
Nope. Do what you gotta do. Have fun doing it. And smile often. Because we're all on this earth and we gotta make the best of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Truly
As a collective.
As a collective. Because if you're individualistic, you'll probably crash and burn.
Despite what the tweed-wearing motherfuckers might have you believe.
Yeah, no. Perfect life is not encompassed in a one-room apartment with 15 cats.
No. There's usually no cats.
I do like cats, but you don't like cats.
No, I wouldn't. But me without cats in a one-room apartment?
Well, I mean, I right now I think the closest thing I have to a pet is, other than crippling depression, is I found a piece of bone on a beach one time, and it's pretty neat. I named it Sustov.
Once was a pet, maybe.
Well, it was once something. It could have been a pet if, I had a deer. I don't know. But it's a neat little piece of bone. I named it Sustov because it seemed like a joint, and that's what Russian is. Joint in Russian is Sustov.
Okay.
So he used to live on a throne of shells, and then I said, why the fuck do I have all these shelves? And now I can burn incense freely. I have a lot more room on my dresser.
Nice.
Yeah.
Progress.
That's little steps, one at a time. Clean off that dresser. There's so much dust.
Yeah.
But not as many shells.
Yeah. Clean your dressers, folks. Keep it proper.
Inside, out. Make sure there's no mildew. Evict rats. I didn't have to evict rats. I'm a pretty on top of it landlord when it comes to the rats. I discriminate. They're not allowed in. They're not a worthy race.
There we go. Yep. Do discriminate.
Yep.
Dead I win. That's my game I play with insects that come into my house.
Oh, okay. I was thinking
it's like Dead I Win.
Oh, okay.
I kill them, I win. It's they're dead. I win.
No. Spiders aren't insects though, right?
In my books. How are they not insects?
Because they're arachnids.
Because they got 8 legs?
Well, they have not 6 legs.
They have 6 legs?
No, they have not 6 legs.
They have 8 legs.
Arachnids have 8 legs. Technically, spiders, because they have pedipalps, which are the 2 specialized...
in their mouth?
Well, because they have the fangs, and the pedipalps are specialized arms, so technically spiders have 10 legs. But they use 8 for locomotion.
Yeah, well, none of them help my fist.
Just punching your toilet like the smallest jumping spider, like, I'll bruise every bone in my body until you die.
How's that fucking 10 legs treating you now, bud?
Yeah, get over this with your pedipalps.
Did I win?
Alright, guys. Thank you so much. Bear with us. Enjoy it. You really have no choice, so you can turn off the video. But why would you do that? Come on now. I'm Italian. Gabagool. I think that's a trend.
Yeah. Why don't you have fucking Domino's in Rome? Maybe they have Domino's in Rome.
I honestly thought you meant the game for a second. I was like, I'm sure some old Italian dudes play Domino's every once in a while.
At Domino's.
I haven't played that in a while.
No. Me neither.
I didn't know it was a game for the longest time. I thought as a kid you just lined him up to knock him down. Which, like, you know, you'd wonder why they had the pips on him, but as a kid you're just like, what can I create that's cool?
Yeah. Build a tower, knock it down, build a row, knock it down.
Destruction at its finest.
Yeah.
Harmless destruction.
Yeah. Good. Alright. That's okay.
Yeah, okay. It's 9 in the morning.
Yeah. Adios.
Here we are at Smugglers Cove, wishing you you already said
adios.
Adios. Увидимся на русский язык.
Feliz Navidad.
Adios.